and welcome to a brand new edition of Talking with Mr. Hauger. And today's edition comes after a speech that I gave to about 150 high schoolers in the East Bay area here of California. Just a wonderful day on a Friday to be able to speak with them and have an opportunity on an evening to share ideas with them that I think have helped me in my career and what you want to call a career. Of course, everybody's path is different. No one, I don't think, can emulate anyone in particular, even people they look up to. If you repeated all the steps in education, it's really your life that would start. No rambling. This is a list of the top 5 things that I think you should evaluate for selecting or choosing a college. I've got the list right here and I've drawn it up, and I spoke to them about these points. Notice they're not fully elaborated here. We're going to go over them together and talk about it. If you think I'm wrong on the list, please comment, subscribe, and there'll be more videos in this series of Talking with Mr. Hauger if you enjoy it. And I hope you will. You can follow me on Twitter at Danny Hauger. Let's get going with the list. Number 5. One of the things I spoke with today is finances and scholarship. You need to consider in your college selection how much money is your education going to be worth. Some people will disagree with me and say that it's an investment that's invaluable. It's an experience that you cannot put a price tag on. But I think just about every college has put a price tag on it, and you can check on it under the tuition page. For me, it was a decision that was made freshman year, and I've shared this story with my students, and my friends already obviously know it, and people who've listened to me on the radio. I started out at an absolutely wonderful university up in San Rafael, California, Dominican University. It's been around for more than 100 years. It's a fantastic educational institution, and I would never speak poorly of it. I love it. I made the best friends of my life there, and it's an experience that changed me forever with the way that I presented myself, got me out of my shell, taught me how to speak more productively, introduce myself with others, network, and do many of the things that would help me be successful later in life. It's certainly one of the main things that made me who I am now and the person that you see in front of your screens. But I evaluated one day on a speech made by a classmate that was supposed to be a informational or how-to speech, and she did on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now, she thought that was a really funny speech to make, something that would really get everyone laughing, it would be humorous, and she'd win over the teacher. She did not. She proceeded to finish her speech in 45 seconds of a 20-minute allotted time in a 3-hour class, and the teacher said, "No, I'm sorry. You have 18 minutes and 30 seconds left. Please continue." So she spoke slower and slower and slower and bored the class, so much so that I turned over my pad and calculated the amount of money that class cost me for the semester. Tuition was $34,000 at that point, not mentioning the $10,000 housing, not mentioning the $7,000 for food, not mentioning the other expenses that you come across, $5,000 for textbooks. I divided by the number of courses, the number of hours, and the number of weeks, and I found out that speech cost me $300. Some people would say that's just part of college. You're not every class, not every moment's going to be stellar. It's true. But what I figured out was for a communications degree, and everything I wanted to do came out of communications, journalism, broadcasting, newspapers, creative writing, screenwriting, all the things that I thought I may be interested in down the road fell under comm. And the starting salary for communications jobs is very low, and it ranges heavily, but from the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s to be common for a first year salary. And I looked at my potential debt of 4 years at Dominican going over $100,000, and I thought, is this worth it? Is this fair for my family and my financial situation? Is this fair to my parents who are paying my way? I determined that I had to make a different choice at that point. As difficult as it was, having put down roots, foundation, loved the faculty, Melba Beals, one of the Little Rock Nine, who was essential in my formation as my communications director. Hi, Melba. Thanks for everything that you did for me. And I moved on down the road. I carried on. I had to go from private to public and transferred courses, all because I didn't consider what the finances might do for my future career. Ended up in a wonderful path, and I'll tell you more about that. Number 4, opportunities. What do I mean by opportunities? I think all the things, the potential connections that you might make at that specific college. What value does that bring to you? Will you get to do the things that you like to do? Will you get to pursue the majors that you want? Extracurriculars, clubs, activities? What about networking? Will there be alumni that will help you at that location? Will there be a strong foundation from that degree to get you into the doors and the places that you want to get into? Number 3, courses. Obviously, college is about the course that you take. Some people will change. I think, like, I don't know, the statistic changes, but between 1/4 and 1/3 will change their major at least once during the course of their college career. And this generation and your generation after me is even more selective and personal and reflective and wants a college experience tailored to them. I don't necessarily see that there anything being wrong with that, but you need to make sure that the courses you have might be offered. And if you're backup, if you're thinking in the back of your head, maybe I might go into education. Make sure that your degree is offered. It's almost everywhere, but not everything is. A good history program might not be available everywhere. So make sure that you've got your top choice covered, but also a backup plan. Plans do change. Number two, the location. Why is location more important? Well, do you want to go to school in Antarctica? Not that there are any, but point proven, right? You want to be satisfied with your college life throughout your time. So, are you into recreation, entertainment, music, events, amusement parks, sports? Are those things available? Will you be bored? Will you find your lifestyle challenge? That's not always a bad thing, but are you going to be livable in the situation that you went? I once went to a branding event at the University of the Pacific in Stockton where my sister graduated, and I have respect for that institution. I was a ball boy for the basketball team. Um, and the student panel that they'd selected, and this was 2005, said, well, I like the school, but the city's boring. I grew up in that city, and I felt annoyed and frustrated that you would have someone on your panel that would say something like that. And I guarantee you, a lot of families and students' perspectives walked out of that thinking, well, there's no way that I'm going to proceed going to that institution. It's not going to happen. You lose people like that. Make sure the location is somewhere that you want to be and near things that you want to do. Number one, I think this was the advice given to me by my counselor at St. Mary's High School when I was there, Mr. Nomalini, thank you. And he said, visit and feel is the single most important thing. If you haven't stepped onto campus and felt and walked down the quad and gone into the student union and feel if you can see yourself there, more importantly, can you see yourself making an impact there? That's when you know. I knew that at Dominican, it felt right. It felt like the place to be, and it was. Money aside, I would have loved to have stayed there 4 years, but finances are on my list as number five, one of the most important things. Went down to Cal State Fullerton after a brief stint, and good stints, at San Joaquin Delta College and Fullerton City College because it's tough. I had to fight for my credits to transfer from one to the other. And that was, oh, hi, Olivia, way back there. That was tough. It was a challenge. I got all the experiences, private, public, and 4 year and 2 year JCs. And I came down to Cal State Fullerton. Another life changing experience. Brought me out of my shell. Large experience. Second largest school in the state of California. If you're in California, check it out. I strongly recommend it. And I'm not being endorsed by anybody for this video other than the high schoolers who wanted to hear me tell the story and we ran out of time. Fullerton was a place where I got to be the general manager of the radio station like Dominican, but this was with 75 DJs that would become like family to me, and I miss them dearly. But that experience of leading those individuals, being creative, writing sketch comedy, writing music, performing all around Orange County, working for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim for those 5 years at AMA 30 fundamentally changed who I am. And you always kind of look back fondly once those days are gone, don't we? But an awesome, amazing time. And it was such a nice campus to walk around. It's been better and improved since then. And it just, I knew it. And I know all the people that I went to school with who went to college, that walk around really seals the deal. Seeing your personality walk on those steps. And we're fortunate in California. Don't overlook the CSU system or the UC system or any university. Go and see what's out there. Take a tour. I did. And it made a difference. So I hope you've enjoyed this talk with Mr. Hauger. That's me. You can email me at dhxlive@gmail.com. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know if I'm off base with my top five. What would you put on your list? What are the top colleges in your viewpoint? And we'll talk to you on a future episode if this one performs well. So thank you so much. It's a pleasure to talk with you. And to the high school students I talked to today, I meant what I said. Go out and get what you're worth. Make a plan. Stray from it if you need, but be ready to work hard and go prove everybody that you can do whatever you want. If I made it from Stockton to radio in Los Angeles on a morning show, it was a sidekick, but I achieved what I wanted to do in that field for now. And you can do whatever you want. You just got to be willing to outwork the next person in line. So that's it for today, and we appreciate you being with us. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget, Danny Hauger music is available on Google Play, iTunes, Amazon, and Spotify. And DannyHauger.com has all the latest links. The podcast is free on iTunes and the Hauger History Podcast for your social studies needs. We'll see you next time.